And in fact, you even have officials in the FBI at that point, early on, saying, this is the most important lead we have, we're going to pursue it. Something that I also quote in the memo is something that I didn't find on the internet. I actually had to call Columbus, Ohio to get a copy. But Columbus, Ohio, where Battelle is, right, has a newspaper. And I discovered that they had written this story, and in that story, this is December 21, 2001. This is right in the middle of everybody saying what the deal is. We've got FBI Director Robert Mueller assuring neocon Senator Michael DeWine of Ohio that there are no suspects at Battelle. That's on December 21, 2001. That's what the article says. Robert Mueller says, you don't have anything to worry about. We're not looking there. That's not. And all of that is, of course, and it's nothing new. It's you got the FBI almost kind of naively, walking up to the door of a secret CIA Anthrax weaponization project, and the hand goes up and says, you're not crossing that line, and they just turn around and look elsewhere. That's all. I mean, that's the deal.
Now, did the FBI change its initial story? The investigation of the anthrax attacks was flipped. I mean, in the beginning of the investigation, wasn't there an admission that this was weaponized anthrax, and then that all went away?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to just say. I mean, the first few months after anthrax attacks, October, November, December, I put some of the articles in my memo. The first few months, it's very plain. I mean, this stuff was processed as a weapon, and there's only certain places that can do this, and we know it's an American strain, and we know it's domestic, and then the names repeatedly are there. They're right there. Baltimore Sun, New York Times, Washington Post, Miami Herald, Doug Ray and Battelle. I mean, it's right there.
Right. Now, with regard to Battelle Memorial Institute, there were certain projects that they were in charge of and running. Now, one of them was called Project Clear Vision, and they were doing this specifically for the CIA. Now, didn't this have something to do with weapon systems to deliver germs?
Yes. I mean, it's the design of what they call a bomblet. A CIA bomblet that distributes bioweapon. That's what we see on the surface. Now, and that's what puts Project Clear Vision in the category of anthrax weaponization project. But I don't think there's any reason to believe that we're seeing all of what Project Clear Vision was about. There are two other projects that have come to light, in fact, exposed rather significantly on September 4, 2001 in the New York Times, which leads up to a book by the name of Germs, written by the New York Times science editor William Broad, in which two other projects are described. One named Project Jefferson, which is a nasty one. I mean, that's the one where they are genetically engineering anthrax in order to increase resistance to vaccine and cure. And they have an excuse. I mean, something about how the Russians had this before us, and we need to figure out and all this. So this is now after the Cold War. And so that's Project Jefferson. And then there's another name that we come across is Project Bacchus. That, on the surface, involves experimenting with setting up a bioweapons factory to see how easy it is and so forth. I believe they built something in the desert of Nevada, and we're told that they were only using an anthrax simulant rather than anthrax itself. That's what we're told.
And then with regard to Project Clear Vision, didn't they name it Clear Vision because this project was supposed to have something to do with seeing into the future?
Yeah, I mean, the campaign is justified and characterized on the basis of this is about peering into what the future could hold in the realm of bioweapons. We're going to use all of our expertise and very significant resources to determine and create. I mean, you have to create it to create the most advanced bioweapon we can envision.
So then it is true, is it not, that the weaponized anthrax that was used to attack Congress and the media had to have originated at either the Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah or Battelle Memorial Institute in Ohio, but in both cases, at Dugway and at Battelle, it was Battelle that was running the labs.
Yes. Yes. I mean, look, I mean, I'll say it this way, okay? I think all of the evidence points in that direction, okay? That's my answer to that question. You know, can I state it with certainty? No. I mean, is it possible that there's some facility we don't know about that's, you know, that carries this off? Yes, it's possible, okay? But let me make this point, Bonnie. Listen, what gives this away, from the point of view of what we really need to understand about it, is something rather familiar. Because it is often the cover-up that reveals who's involved. You see? What you have to realize is this. Whether the most powerful forces in, if you want to, in the intelligence, military, industrial realm, whether they are actually the initiators or not, and it seems to me there's a very good chance that they are. I mean, it makes no sense that they would be. Whether or not they are, they ultimately bless what happened. They certainly know what happened. And they bless it by ordering a cover-up on the part of the FBI DOJ. That gives it away. You know, all you have to do is look at the cover-up and realize that all kinds of machinations and convolutions are being engaged here by our top law enforcement officials for the purpose of covering up the source of these anthrax texts. And you got to say to yourself, who has that kind of power? Who has the power to control that? And why would they do it? And why would they do it? Again, either they did it themselves, which I think is most likely, or they're seeing fit to cover up what an ally of theirs saw fit to do. Fair enough?
Yes, fair enough. Now, when you say they, are you referring to the FBI or...
No, I'm not. I'm not, actually. I mean, it's hard to draw distinct lines, but no, I'm describing an authority with more power than the FBI DOJ that compels the DOJ FBI to engage in this, you know, in this silly Bruce Ivins case for the purpose of covering up you know, military industrial intelligence, crime.
Right. Crime. And then what is this power that is more powerful than the DOJ and the FBI?
Well, okay. My answer to that is I mean, there's a lot of different ways of answering it, but let me try this. Let's start off with the concept of plutocracy, shall we? What is the concept of plutocracy? It's that you've got a government that is controlled and operates on behalf of the most wealthy. That's not a new thing. That's par for the course. And the plutocrats that control American society, one of their very biggest businesses, if you will, is engaging in the manufacture of both weapons and war. Okay? Am I starting to describe who these people are? You know, what you can look at if you pull up the veil is you can see these guys going from military to intelligence agency to industry, back to military, back to intelligence agency. Sometimes they even pop up, you know, in the vice president's chair. And yeah, they order the FBI and the DOJ around, no problem. You can't analyze anything that's going on in the world if you don't understand what its context is. And we have a context, an unmistakable context here, that has to do with the practice of empire. Manufacturing wars and weapons is a critical part of it, and it has been for a very long period of time. And we need to bring to bear an understanding of this when we analyze anything that's going on.
Barry Kissin, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bonnie.
There's something happening, yeah. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
I've been speaking with Barry Kissin. Today's show has been the anthrax attacks and the system that perpetrated them. Barry Kissin is an attorney and a lifelong peace activist. He has written important and definitive articles specifically addressing the U.S. biowarfare military-industrial intelligence complex and the weaponization of anthrax. Today,